This is KCCI 8 Sports, Road to the Final Four, Conference Tournament Special.
Well, welcome to the Road to the Final Four right here on KCCI. We are at the starting line at the best part of the season where some schools already have their spot in the big dance locked down and others need to pull off a miracle in their conference tournaments. I'm Scott Carpenter holding down the desk in Des Moines. Scott Reister is live in Indianapolis. Jeff Dubroff live in Kansas City. Scott, Indianapolis was pretty quiet last year. I'm guessing it's a little bit different there right now.
Yeah, the tournament is underway. Pretty exciting. And the Hawkeyes there, they're just walking out of the picture there. You see Connor McCaffrey, the coaches. They were in here watching Nebraska Northwestern. Right behind me, perfect timing, right? Doesn't always happen in live TV. But this is the place to be. The Hawkeyes, let's take a look at the road ahead for them in Indy. The 5th seed in this tournament. Nebraska and Northwestern are battling right now. That's why Iowa was down there watching them. And it's actually a close game. Nebraska's only up by 1. They've blown a 15-point lead in this one. So anyway, winner of this one tonight will play the Hawkeyes tomorrow around 1. It's been really fun to see all the fans of all the different teams arriving in Indy as this tournament will be going in full force throughout the week. That's the scene here. Now let's go over to Kansas City to see what's happening at the Iowa State Cyclones. Jeff?
Yeah, thank you very much, Scott. We're here in Kansas City. Right now, we're in the T-Mobile Center. This is where the Iowa State men are going to be playing the women's tournament just down the street at the Municipal Auditorium. The Cyclone men have seemingly risen from the ashes. Just 2 wins all of last season. They're a 6 seed this year, and they get the 3 seed Texas Tech tomorrow night at 8:30. The women's team, they're going to be taking on the winner of either West Virginia or TCU. That game, they're playing that game, Iowa State would play that game on Friday at 5 p.m. We have heard so much about Kansas City during the conference tournament becoming Hilton South. I'll tell you what, cannot wait to see it. And the best part, in my opinion, of these conference tournaments is just seeing all the different fans from all over the Big 12 country kind of mingling together, sharing food, sharing drinks. It's going to be an exciting weekend. We can't wait to bring it all to you live all over from Kansas City. Let's send it back to you, Scott, and Indy.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the expectations that were set for these teams kind of coming in, because this has really been a season of overachieving for the teams that we've covered here in Central Iowa and the state of Iowa, starting with those Iowa State Cyclones, as you mentioned, just 2 total wins last year. None of the Big 12, new coach, new roster, picked dead last, but they finished 6th, win 20 games, one of the greatest turnarounds in college basketball history. The Hawkeye men coming off a great season, but lost Luka Garza to the NBA, picked 9th in the 14-team Big Ten, and here we are, end up tied for 4th. They're the 5 seed. Drake men coming off a year they won their first NCAA tournament game since '69, were picked to finish 1st. Had a solid year, finished 3rd after a streaky season. UNI was picked to finish 3rd, and they took home the regular season title. Despite exceeding expectations, each of the Big 4 schools that we cover really rode a roller coaster throughout the season. It's been fun to track, but for Drake and UNI, that roller coaster ride did end last week in St. Louis.
Arch Madness gave way to Arch Sadness. UNI's reward for earning the 1 seed was getting to meet mighty Loyola in the semifinals. UNI's shots were not falling. UNI did fall, 66-43, ending their NCAA tournament hopes. Drake made it to Sunday's final against Loyola with 12 seconds left. They had a chance to cut the lead to 1, but Tremel Murphy missed a 3 for the Bulldogs, and Drake missed its only shot at the big dance, losing 64-58. How about the Hawkeyes? They found life after Luka, challenging at first. Their early December 20-point loss in the Cy-Hawk Showdown was their 3rd straight at the time, but they found a superstar. Keegan Murray led the nation in scoring for a big chunk of the season. Iowa had a mediocre first half of conference, just going 4-6, but the second half they took off. Soaring. They moved Jordan Bohannon from shooting guard back to point. They won 8 of 9. Tony Perkins has been starting and playing great. Iowa finished 12-8 in conference, just missing out on the 4 seed and the double bye. If you like roller coasters, you got your money's worth out of the Cyclones this season. They began as the best story in basketball, from 2 total wins to 12-0 and ranked 8th in the country. Isaiah Brockington has been flexing all season. Tyrese Hunter set the freshman record for assists. The Clones came back down to earth as Big 12 play progressed. They bottomed out at 3-9, in danger of missing the NCAA tournament, but they bounced back, beating TCU, Oklahoma, West Virginia, and K-State. A 4-game winning streak saved their season. They did drop their final 2, but still finished 7-11, the 6th seed in Kansas City, and considered a lock come Selection Sunday.
And these teams aren't the only ones riding the ups and downs. How about the fans? Yeah, all the heart-stopping moments, specifically at home. And we're really talking about student section. Our own Bo Bowman explains how they can be a big difference maker for each of these squads.
Carver Hawkeye Arena and Hilton Coliseum. That's what has college students across the state sprinting up the stairs to go bananas for the Cyclones and the Hawkeyes. From intimidating their long-horned rivals from the south to unleashing a Raptor against their Big Ten opponents. Iowa and Iowa State are both looking to make a deep run into the college basketball postseason, with some help from the fans in the stands.
We can make it so loud in there that the other team can't think, I feel like.
When we pack the students in, it's loud, it's intimidating.
The sacred stadiums become electric on a made three and distracting during free throws.
You can feel the energy in the place, especially before a big game. Like, kind of feels like it's just about to erupt with energy.
Iowa State's newest tradition might seem a bit morbid, but makes sense when the opposing Big 12 offenses are, well, dead. 3 possessions in a row without a score means an X goes up, and the Cyclone faithful will let them hear it. In Iowa City, the Carver Crazies get to the arena as soon as they're able.
What better do you have to do on Tuesday at 6 o'clock? You just got done with class. You don't want to go study. You want to go watch the basketball game.
To get free t-shirts like this one honoring Hawkeye legend Luka Garza. And you should know it's not just the men's teams. The fans have been showing up for the women, too. Carver Hawkeye Arena sold out a women's game for the first time since 1988, as Caitlin Clark led them to a Big Ten championship.
They're fun to watch. They're incredibly talented. It says a lot about the team that the fans are really behind them.
And the Hilton Magic packed the seats in the Coliseum as Ashley Jones led the Cyclone women to a championship matchup against Baylor.
We've gotten lots of students out. We got over 1,000 for the Texas game.
Now as the postseason gets underway, the teams have their sights set on trophies, vying to be the ones cutting down the nets and bringing home a banner to hang in the rafters above Cyclone Alley or the Hawk's Nest.
If you haven't seen the team play, you better watch them now because we're going to be in the NCAA tournament. And if you're going to watch them in the NCAA tournament and you haven't been to a game, I don't know what you're doing.
Bo Bowman, KCCI, Iowa Sports Leader.
Those fans saw some incredible basketball this year, from the women's team in Ames all the way to Iowa City. I'll recap those seasons.
And when you play Division I basketball for your dad, what do you call him on the floor? Dad? Coach?
Yo. Heard that a few times.
Steve Carlin sits down with the McCaffreys of Iowa and the DeVries of Drake to find out what it's like to coach your son and play for your dad on the road to the Final Four. Welcome back to the road to the Final Four. Scott Reister live here in Indy. You know, for a lot of dads, coaching their son's Little League team is just quintessential America, right? But for most, that ends in high school. But not really for some, because it starts in college for some. And for coaches DeVries and McCaffrey, there are 3 sons. Let's talk to Steve Carlin about what it's like to play for Dad.
Hey, Dad. You can't scream that when you're in the huddle. The Carver Hawkeye Arena crowd is going crazy, and you got to get the coach's attention.
Normally, we kind of just make eye contact, I guess.
Yeah, I say yo.
And that is the big difference.
Honestly, you can make the argument that we're just opposites.
Between the redshirt sophomore Patrick McCaffrey,
Patrick, he sleeps a lot.
And his senior year older brother Connor.
He's very, very serious. I'm not.
Where they're alike.
The only time I'm really serious is when I play basketball.
Is both decided to play college basketball at the University of Iowa for their father, Fran.
Working fine for me.
Fine because due to Fran's 40-year coaching career, Connor and Patrick have grown up around the game.
They love and support each other. They love their teammates, and they're both really easy to coach.
Being the coach's kid ain't always easy.
You got to be better than the average player. You know, that's okay. That's kind of just something that comes with it.
But there is one huge advantage.
Obviously, he's my father, so he cares about me and everything like that. That's what's most important in a coach. You want your coach to care about you.
The whole McCaffrey clan cares. Sister Merritt's away at college, but Mom Margaret and little brother Jack hit every home game. So Carver Hawkeye really feels like home.
We're doing things together that I think would strengthen anyone's family.
Connor and Patrick are even roomies.
They call them Irish twins. They're 18 months apart.
Too much togetherness? Nope.
They're best friends, inseparable growing up. Hard to believe they never got into fights.
Connor and Patrick only fight for Iowa.
Well, it's incredibly special.
Tucker DeVries stayed close to home, too. Coming out of high school, Tucker was a top 100 player in the country, and like the McCaffreys, he could have played pretty much anywhere. But he decided to stay in Des Moines and play for his dad, Darren, at Drake.
Obviously didn't recruit him like everybody else because he was in my living room every day.
COVID killed the campus and facilities tours.
We didn't do the whole roll out the red carpet for him like maybe we should have.
Kind of depriving not only Tucker, but also his sister Tatum and mother Ashley of some perks.
The mom might have liked a nice steak dinner for the official visit, but it's all right. We compromised.
The compromise?
This is the first time he's been my coach for anything.
Both Tucker and Darren committed to each other to work together to make the Bulldogs better.
He understands I got a job to do as a coach, and being able to separate the two has gone pretty smooth.
It's been a blast, you know, getting to play for my dad, especially at this level, is not something everybody can say.
Tucker won a state championship at Waukee, was the 2021 Iowa High School Player of the Year, and is the new Missouri Valley Conference Freshman of the Year. But as good as he is, he can't say that he has ever beaten his dad one-on-one.
He won't play me anymore. So.
For the record, Tucker was 15 the last time he took on Darren, who's only been at Drake for 3 years, but has already been named Conference Coach of the Year twice.
I think we played to 30, and I fouled him 75 times to get the win, and I just said that was enough.
When deciding their college basketball futures, family was a major factor for the McCaffreys and Tucker DeVries. Not just having their dads on the sidelines, but also knowing their moms and siblings are right down the street.
And we're just a big family here, and then I have my family at home. It's all really close, and it's made this place, you know, really special.
Absolutely fantastic. It's been an incredible season for both Iowa and Iowa State women. Caitlin Clark led the Hawkeyes to a share of the regular season title and conference tournament title. And Ashley Jones seems to be able to do it all on the court. But we talked with Ashley and her sister Aubrey and learned there's one thing she apparently can't do. That's next. Welcome back to Kansas City, where the Big 12 men's and women's tournaments are getting underway in the next 24 hours. From days of 6-on-6, girls and women's basketball has had a very special place in the heart of Iowa, receiving all kinds of support and devotion that some men's teams around the country don't even get. This season, those fans have been rewarded with some of the best basketball around the country. Historic seasons we have never seen before. Let's start in Ames and start by going back, like way back to November, when the Cyclones, led by Ashley Jones and an elite group of sophomores, were picked to finish second in the Big 12 Conference behind, of course, Baylor. The expectations were high, and the Cyclones, they fulfilled them and then some. The team actually had a chance to take the conference crown from Baylor. No team has done that in 11 years. And ultimately, they fell short, finishing second in the regular season Big 12 standings. However, winning the title would have only been a cherry on top of what has been a historic season in Ames. The Cyclones finished with 25 regular season wins. That's the most in program history. Oh, and Ashley Jones, she became Iowa State's all-time leading scorer. Over in Iowa City, the expectations were equally high. The Hawkeyes were picked to finish third in the Big Ten this year. They started the season slow, but found their groove in time to prove Big Ten voters wrong. The Hawkeyes won their first Big Ten regular season title in 14 years, beating 3 top 10 teams down the stretch, then clinching a win over Michigan in Carver Hawkeye Arena in front of 15,000 fans. Caitlin Clark and her team might be the hottest team in all of basketball right now. Back-to-back double-digit wins in the Big Ten tournament led to a third and final meeting with Indiana. And it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. But with Caitlin Clark leading the nation in points per game and assists, and senior Monica Sonano going off for 30 points, the Hawkeyes pulled it off, claiming the Big Ten tournament title too. Competition in the Valley was tough this year also. Allison Pullman's first year as the Drake head coach was a building year. Griff may want to invest in some sunglasses because the future is bright. The breakout Bulldog who caught our attention was Megan Meyer. She put the MVC on notice. She was a 3-time conference newcomer of the year and led the team in scoring with 13 points per game. As for the Panthers of UNI, the model of consistency. Picked to finish third in the conference, they finished third in the conference. And a lot of that is thanks to sophomore Grace Buffelli, who was one of the best players in the conference. Don't give her an open look. She'll make it. She shoots 52% from the field. Look, it doesn't matter if you're a Hawkeye or you went to UNI, a Cyclone or a Bulldog. Women's basketball this year was top tier, and we are not close to done.
It really was, Jeff. It's been fun to watch, but I want to back up for just a minute because I know you sat down with the Jones sisters a week ago, and you found out that there actually is something Ashley Jones cannot do, right?
Yeah, Scott, we see it all the time. She can do a lot on the basketball court. Listen to this. I couldn't believe this. Listen.
Every time.
Well, I don't know how to use
actually,
the
it's
dishwasher.
usually Emily, but
Wait. You don't know how to use a dishwasher?
No, I wash them by hand.
Okay, fair enough.
which is like every month.
Now, if you didn't
Okay,
quite
because
catch
you
that, Ashley Jones told us she does not know how to use a dishwasher. Scott Carpenter, I'm going to bet you had nothing like that when you talked to the Murray twins, right?
No, neither of them professed to being unable to use a kitchen appliance, but Chris and Keegan did tell me they were not a package deal when they were recruited to Iowa, and the way Coach McCaffrey treated them was a key reason they decided to play college ball in Iowa City together. Well, sports teams often refer to themselves as family, but is it different when you're actually family? Well, we swung by Iowa State University and the University of Iowa to see how the backyard battles, the basement fights, and sibling rivalry help push these real brothers and sisters to the next level. Iowa's Keegan and Chris Murray are identical twins. Standing side by side, both 6'8", 225-pound sophomores on the roster.
I'm pretty sure I'm a little bit taller.
They've spent their whole lives under the same roof, and now they're roommates in college, competing in arguably the best conference in college basketball. But the competition between them started in their basement. Pretty much as soon as they could walk, a little Tykes hoop was the center of some epic one-on-one battles. Who got the better of who on the little hoop?
It was definitely me, because I'd make him cry all the time. Someone always ended up crying, is what happened. Someone always ended up crying.
That competition continues to light a fire under the twins. It's been ongoing throughout youth sports, high school, and prep school. And it still plays out in front of 15,500 fans in Carver Hawkeye Arena.
We bicker at each other a lot. Like, in high school, we always did. Like, everywhere we played, we bickered at each other. I think it's kind of a twin thing, because a lot of people see it and it looks like we're fighting, but really we're just, like, to us, it's just like we're talking to each other and making each other better.
But sometimes even mom has to step in.
It looked like I was yelling at Keegan, which I kind of was, but she yelled from the stands, like, stop fighting.
Being identical twins, has a coach at any point down the road gone to put one of you in and put the wrong one in?
I think there's one time this season where I went in with 4 fouls, and he thought I was Chris.
I think I just went down the bench and just, did one of these real quick. And I said, wait a minute, I got to put the other one in. Yeah, that did happen once.
Yeah, he put me in with 4 fouls.
And you didn't ask Fran, like, hey, I got 4 fouls,
no,
right?
I was just going to go in. I didn't care. I was just going to go out and play.
Their time on the court has paid off for the Hawkeyes. Chris is averaging over 10 points a game, and Keegan ended the regular season as one of the nation's top scorers. Navigating this path together isn't something they take for granted.
It motivates me a lot just to see the success he has, and then it motivates me to play at that level when I come into the game off the bench. I know that our situation's rare with twins playing together, but I just think just our success story and just being able to play basketball with him at a really high level is just my best thing that's happened to me.
It's a similar sibling success story in Ames. Iowa State sisters Ashley and Aubrey Jones, just 2 years apart, are leading the Cyclones to a historic season.
We grew up watching college basketball games and kind of dreaming about being in that position, and now we get the opportunity to be in that position together.
Their games are a little different.
I'm definitely a better shooter than her.
She's more of a three-point shooter, but I can give her a run for her money every once in a while.
But just like the Murray twins, competition drives these sisters, even among each other.
When we'd go to the gym together, we'd play one-on-one, and we don't do that as much here anymore because we don't want to start fights and stuff.
Someone would come back crying, oh, someone threw a ball at someone else.
Yeah.
Her mom would be like, you guys just need to go to your rooms.
And as roommates, the competition really never stops.
She likes to think she's clean, but I'd say she's definitely messy.
Okay, I'm more organized.
As the Cyclones head into the postseason, these two will play a critical role, but a piece of Iowa State history already belongs to the Jones name. Earlier this season, Ashley became the program's all-time leading scorer.
To see her do something like that was really impressive, and I was really proud of her. And to see the video they played at Hilton, all the fans, it was really a good moment.
Well, Scott, Jeff, this is just the start of our journey on the road to the Final Four.
It's going to be a fun week, absolutely, because Selection Sunday is when we learn the brackets for the NCAA tournament, and that is at 5 o'clock, and you can see that right here on KCCI for the men, and then 7 o'clock on ESPN for the women. Once the brackets are set, Jeff and I will be joined by CBS bracket expert Jerry Palm Monday at 7:45 for our Facebook Live special Road to the Final Four bracket breakdown, and that's the show you need to watch if you want to fill out your brackets and win your office pool, guys.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Reister. Jeff?
Yeah, the next Wednesday, we're going to take a look at everyone playing and talk a little depth about Keegan Murray and Ashley Jones and the great seasons they've had.
Sounds great. Thank you for joining us. Remember, KCCI is home for all your pit stops along the road to the Final Four.